There it is. Oh, okay. Back a little bit. Just a second. Let's sit back in the chair. Oh. Hey, Instagram, it's me, T from the Pattersons. Take the train to the bed. Now you might be wondering. Well, first of all, let's start proper. This is a Thursday. As you know, every day of the week, 5 days a week, I have a different theme every day, right? This is an audio drama day. We're going to get into that just a second as I explain the other. Tomorrow, Friday, will be like whatever's happening, a week wrap up. Saturday is whatever happened in my head. Sunday is going to be reading from Tagore, an Indian writer. Monday is a me day, talk about me. Tuesday is a U.S. day, usually revolves around politics, but it could be anything, culture, whatever. But I'm a cultural warrior. That's the whole thing, you know. As it says on my resume, if you ever have a copy, I'm a cultural revolutionary. I'm an evolutionist in real life, but in cultures, I'm a revolutionary because, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything sort of revolves around, you know. It's like revolution. It keeps on going and going like that. And Wednesday is World, you know, International, whatever day. And today, Thursdays, these commentaries, it's audio drama. Now you may say, well, brother, hey, you got your Ogun cap on. Some people say it's a revolutionary cap. And you got, what's this thing you got on here? Well, this about, let me figure this out. Did Johnny do this when I first came 20 years ago, or when I came? I think it was when I came afterwards, like 3 years after that, or 2 years after that, I came back to Orville and you know, did some other stuff, audio drama kind of stuff. In fact, when I first came, I did a theater piece, but when I came back, I did more audio drama. I did audio drama. Don't worry about that part. But he made a shirt for me, right? And I carried that shirt for a long time. I outgrew it. Well, whatever. It was a shirt. It was all cotton shirt. And I had and my wife, she went and took that shirt. I got this denim jacket, this black denim jacket, and I cut the sleeves like that. I wanted to make this basically it's my audio drama track. I very rarely wear it. I wear it, but I never wear the audio drama side unless I'm going to do an audio drama. Or in this case, I'm plotting audio drama. Let's just leave it that way. Leave it open, right? Now you might want to know on the back. I hope this shows you right. On the back is the shirt that Johnny really made, and my wife cut it up. And let me show it to you. If you can see it, see that? Oh, let me make sure you can see it. Hold on a second. Take it off. Let me take it off so you can see it. See, he made that thing. It says No More Radio. It's backwards here, but it says No More Radio. It was a shirt, and he had an authentic wooden button. Over here, it's no longer there. But the way she sewed it into the jacket now, it's like a pocket now. See? Several little small pocket, big pocket, bigger pocket, right? And I can put scripts in there. But I only wear this when I'm actually doing an audio drama. I've done that before, actually doing an audio drama. I guess I want to show it to you. Now, but this side here, the front side, this is something else. This is Sloan Warrior side. This has several symbols on it. You know, you got your symbol here. As you can see, it's you got the green, red in the middle, and of course it's the black background. That means something. This one here, this symbol here, has the green, one red, and the black. It says, you know, it's like that. It's two separate. It's units, cores, if you will, and therefore, well, I'm not going to tell you. That's for another day. I have to explain to some of you got to look at a YouTube or something like that. One of my YouTube things explains the whole thing, but I'm not explaining to you today. But here's the thing. As you may have been, oh, it's hot. I don't even know why I got this thing on because it's hot. Just a second. Let me get. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. I'll put that inside. Get my towel. Well, now the thing is, when it's in September, I think I got it. I think it starts September 7th. I have it in my notes someplace. well, we won't try to go through the notes of some place where that thing where the prime minister, not prime, the head of the big hoo-ha lady of of the you know of that country, the West Indies country. I keep on wanting to say the Bahamas. I know it's not the Bahamas. What's her name? Gosh, I know her name. And oh boy, Maya something. Oh, you're not going to help me, are you? Oh, it's okay. Well, it's on the tip of my tongue. I wrote out her whole speech. I wrote her whole speech out because it was so important that I had to write the whole thing out. Let me put my passport there. Barbados, Prime Minister of Barbados. She's a daughter of Africa, she says. I understand here, blah, 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 like that. But later on, in her speech, she mentions that there's going to be a conference in September. And I think the date she acknowledges that it starts is going to be September the 7th, if I am not mistaken. I think it's September 7th. We're going to celebrate this year, our resilience, that blah, blah, blah. I can build the participants in the fact that there's a conflict with me, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure, yeah. And the African Union, here it goes, for agreeing that the first, she made this announcement at a conference they had at the African Union in Ethiopia recently. Anyway, she says, for agreeing that the first in-face summit of CARICOM and the African Union, that's the CARICOM is the Caribbean states, you know, should take place here, meaning Addis Ababa, on the 7th of September of this year of our Lord. She doesn't say 2025, but 2025. So, starting on the 7th of September, there's going to be a conference on reparations. It doesn't, no, don't get me wrong, it doesn't exclude, oh, my helicopter just didn't do what it's supposed to do. Now, this conference is going to take place all month. Well, I guess for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks. So, I plan to be there. Because, you know, as a Prime Minister of Barbados, you know, she's a big wig. She's been in Barbados. In fact, she was the one with, you don't know him, but Irving Burgee, the calypso, the singer that gave Harry Belafonte that big song, you know, Dale. You know, well, he actually wrote the national anthem, the anthem for Barbados, and she was there. That's a long time ago. And interestingly enough, let me tell you something. Hey, Kay Smith, glad to have you. Salute. It's gonna be a little while. I gotta talk about audio dump. It's audio dump. I can never stop talking about audio dump. It's gonna be long, so you can wait. You can stay. You don't. Okay. Good. But his brother, Wilbur Burgee, started a thing under the New York City Mission Society Cadet Corps, and he's like one of those unsung revolutionaries that you won't hear about, right, like that. And as part of that Cadet Corps, I grew up in the Cadet Corps. No, you're so kind. Growing up in the Cadet Corps was interesting because from 9 years old on up, and part of that was I joined, well, leadership. It's a mentorship program we keep on as you advance. You teach people under you, and that program also. What we learned, he took us project kids. I was on the Patterson project, all over. This happened in New York, but he took us. It's like Barry Gordy. Barry took some project kids and made them be able to hang out with, you know, go to Buckingham Palace or something like that. But that was his agenda. But he was a tyrant like that. No. Wilbur Burgee, he did something different because he had a whole staff of people, whatever. And we were mentored to serve. We are here to serve, right? We were project kids that, and other whatever. We were here to serve. And part of that thing, we had several things, officers training, and the fraternity, Pensacola military fraternity. It says Pensacola military fraternity. You have to understand that. So we're talking super discipline. The Cadet Corps was super disciplined. We're talking about like 59. So all through the 60s, I grew up in the formative years from 9 years old to basically 19, 10 years. I'm in the Cadet Corps with all the stuff that goes, basketball coaching, the drill teams, the officers training school, but whatever. But then I went into the service, right? So that was while I was in the service, all kinds of things happened. The FBI came down and thing. Anyway, it moved to the problem. It doesn't matter. But the point is, because of that, and because of other things, just the way I am. How do we say it? In my, I know you'll say this, in my DNA is service. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to, have aggrandizement. I know Anthony means praiseworthy, but I don't use the definition of Anthony. My first name is Anthony, as the Roman definition, Antonius. My mother-in-law wanted to name me Antonius. My grandmother was pretty smart because she said, no, this boy's name is Anthony. He's going to have no problem. So anyway, but I don't even use that praiseworthy stuff, exalted stuff here. I'm a little bit more subtle, right? I say the name Anthony means incomparable. There's no comparison. Nobody can do what I do. And let me explain what I mean. I'm an audio dramatist. Let me put it this way. I am trained, I do have a degree in communications, or whatever have you, but my undergraduate degree in communications was predicated on, was really on I think it was like, it was TV production and video, old time video with the tape and stuff like that. That was the courses, whatever it is. My radio training, which I had no radio courses when I was for my undergraduate degree. My radio is when I first became poet in residence for WPRB in Princeton University Station. Then I came to Livingston College program because that's where I graduated from. But I had a broadcast program over WRSU, which is the broadcast station at Rutgers College proper. Variations of Blackness. Boy, I wish I had those tapes. Anyway, back to the point. Then, I forgot. When I left before I left the Cadet Corps, I was at Negro Ensemble Company. I was trained in theater, all aspects of theater. I'm doing all aspects of theater, right? So anyway, so what happens is when I go into the Air Force, I said, okay, let me do my time. I got to get back to theater. That's my whole thing. Well, by the time I got back to theater, 10 years later, after the Air Force, after undergraduate work at Livingston College, after graduate work at the Mason Grove School of the Arts and playwriting, whatever I had, I finally got back to New York. I didn't take it. Well, I won't get into that. That's another whole other story. Got back to New York. Well, the scene had changed. Because remember, we're talking about the whole 70s. I was missing from New York, and all those professional people I work with, they absconded, flew the coop, abandoned New York for the wiles of money in Hollywood, fame, and blaxploitation movies. Okay, let me show you what I mean. You remember the famous movie Shaft, right? Well, Richard Roundtree, the cat that played Shaft, well, he was in the original. I was in the intermediate acting class at Negro Ensemble Company. He was in our class for a second. Why? Because they had picked him to play Shaft. This was like we're talking about 1967, I guess it was. 67, yeah. But they put him in the next acting class up because they was trained. They knew back down in 67 that I guess Gordon Parks, whoever picked him, was going to play Shaft, right? So he was in our class for a second, but he like that. And then basically, I think they made Shaft in 1969, 1970, whenever they made Shaft. And so he was thoroughly trained to be Shaft. Let's put it that way. But remember, he was he was a Duke model, you know, a model, you know, hairspray. Remember, you don't know, Duke hairspray. If you look at those original cans, that's Richard Roundtree, like that. So he's upside down. My first acting, Michael Schultz. Oh, he ran over to Hollywood too. You know, yeah, Michael Schultz had a class. You know, to this day he did the best play that Negro Ensemble Company ever did, was a song of the Lusitanian Bogey. Look it up. No, you can't look it up. I don't know. Okay. And my main, that he left, and this guy, Luther James, he was a TV director, but he didn't last long. Then Buddy Butler was with us for a little while. Buddy was great. I learned a lot from him. He did like seances, you know, ritual theater, like that. He wasn't there for a second. And then they finally get Ed Cambridge. And in Cambridge, if those early people that went absconded to Hollywood, I guess if I would have been there instead of in the Air Force, I probably would have been with them too. But I don't know about that, because all those people, you know, those are my peoples. You know, Ed Cambridge, whatever. You know, and he trained all those early actors in those exploitation. He was the acting. Well, he was a stage manager. I trained under him as a stage manager, but he was the first time he taught acting was with our class. So you can thank you early, you Hollywood people, you know, who are such an esteemed trainer, whatever have you. And you know him because of Trouble Man. You know, Bobby Hooks. I'm sorry, I should say Bobby, because that's Robert Hooks, one of the founders of Negro Ensemble Company. You know, Robert Hooks, Gerald S. Crone, Douglas Turner Ward. Those are the three founders of Negro Ensemble Company. Anyway, there's that. If you remember when T, they call him T, when Trouble Man was in this he's a pool hustler, right? He's sitting there, and a guy with a gimp walks in, you know, reporting to him because that's his office like that. Well, that guy, that's Ed Cambridge, great actor, great acting teacher. And I'm taking too long with this. Let me move along. So I'm trained in theater. I'm trained in radio. When I came back to New York, things have changed. I was into the theater scene I did not like at all. Too much cronyism and a bunch of other stuff. So I hung out with the Attack people. We're the technical people. We did a lot of technical stuff. Now, at the same time, I was listening to WBAI, and there was a cat that did my kind of radio, the stuff that I was doing based on variations and blackness, the same kind of thingy. Bernard White on WBAI. He was doing a thing called Emanations. Well, the way back then, you know, if you wanted to help out the station and you didn't have money, or you wasn't into money, like I'm not into money, then what you do, you volunteer, answer the phones, and, you know, take the pledges, so like that. So I came, and so naturally I wanted to help his program, so I came there and did that. And then after the program, he came and thanked us all, you know, well, thank you for that. He comes to us and I said, oh, Mr. White, can I talk to you, please? He said, this is Mr. White, Bernard, right? Very funny. So he goes, well, yeah, that's fine, but what do you want to do? No. I said, I can help you because I know radio, you know, I hear your program, and I can do a little vox pop, you know, like you have themes every week. I could go out and get the man on the street kind of interviews, you know, and I come back and I can edit the tape. We have a little like 2-minute whatever thing in the beginning to introduce the topic. So that's a good idea. You know, I'll tell you what, you know, why don't you go and let's see what you can do, like that. So then he said, but what do you want to do? That was I was going like, oh, I like this guy. I like this situation. I said, well, I you know, I'm in theater, but, you know, I have radio background. I like to do, like, plays. I like to do radio drama. He said, oh, we do that here. He said, so come on, blah, blah. So I hung out with Bernard, Emanations, learned a lot. Now, this was like 1982. Yeah, about 1982. I started going around doing all this stuff with recording forums and stuff like that for when with Alambe and Samori making these community forums, you know, Patrice Lumumba Coalition, that whole thing, whatever Samori's doing. Then let's skip over that. But now you say, well, you came in '82. You said that you wanted to do theater and radio. Wait a second. Didn't you do your first real radio drama, if you want to call it that, not until like 86, 85, 86? That's like, what we doing those 3 years? I was doing what I always do. I was surveying the lay of the land. I'm a child of Ogun. I know you think that Ogun just go slashing up. Ogun's an architect. Ogun be looking, he be saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? So I was doing my recon. I'm a military man. Let's think about it. Let's go military fraternity. So I was basically seeing and learning all about the station. I had skills already, because of my work in radio. Had skills already, helping Bernard, helping this group, helping that group, ingratiated myself to all the different capacities. One thing I knew about BAI, or found out, or I figured, is that they had these little cabals. Everybody had little groups like that. So I ingratiated myself to all the little cabals. Oh, I'm diabolical when I have to be. All I can say, it's not diabolical, I'm cunning. That's not cunning. Look, I'm what I am. I'm a scout. I'm something. So what happened, I also know some other things. So I was also, to earn money, because I'm not a money person, I was an artist model for School of Visual Arts, which, well, I'm getting to all that, for School of Visual Arts. And in that capacity, I met after 80 to 84, I was doing that. But then at 84 hit, Vincent Glenn, the model register, the guy that hires all the models, he said, you're not going to model anymore. You're too good. Well, he didn't say it like that. He said, I got other things for you to do. I was like his assistant, like a Bernard's assistant, doing all kinds of paperwork, doing the inventory, running errands here, over this, here, and there, because he trusted me. He knew me like that. He said, you're the emergency model, right? So if there was a problem in the classroom or with a teacher or whatever it is, I had a reputation by then. Remember, 4 years of modeling, so people knew me. If I had to show up, it means that something was wrong with this class, and things would automatically change. I was such a good model. I could command from the stage. I can change your style. We'll leave all that stuff. Let's keep on moving, because we got to get to audio drama, what I'm trying to do here now. So I met Creative Unity. Creative Unity was a group of, there was about 8, 10 of them, all schools, people in the School of Visual Arts, and they was putting on this thing, right? This presentation, and I asked, so I knew some of them, whatever. I said, can I want to do a poem, not one of my poems. I hadn't been writing poems. I had been writing poems since 1971. And so I want to do a poem from County Cullen called, I think it's called Night Rain, because I really love County Cullen, or his poetry at least. I say I love, hey. I say I love County Cullen, not like he loved, County Cullen. There were these characters in the Harlem Renaissance. He got married, and on his honeymoon, he took his his male lover on the honeymoon. What can I say? It's art, the art world, artistes. Gosh. Okay, and the point is, so I did that poem for them, and then Washington said, you're really good, blah, 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 blah. And I basically convinced them to come to the radio station and can they do this, because they were doing like Ed Koch, they were doing like Ronald Reagan, these voices. Well, they were playing. I said, but on stage, people like, you're black. They got the and radio worked much better. So they came, and I trained them in radio. Okay, now let's get down to the point. Woo! So I had to go through that long bit. So when they came, I think it was whenever we did, either late '85, I guess from the late '85. Anyway, there was a thing called Day of Absence. Reverend Al, we don't have no church. Reverend Al called for a day of absence. There was something happening and whatever. And so I realized that nobody knew what a day of absence, what that really meant. But I also knew that Douglas Turner Ward, when I founded the Negro Ensemble Company, wrote this seminal one-act play called Day of Absence, right? So I said, hey, let's do it live on the radio, right? And that's what we did. It was the daytime, too. It was like the late morning or something like that. The play is like 45 minutes, so it's short, right? So I figured so the way I did it though, I used the entire station. Nobody had ever done that before. In fact, I asked an engineer, her to come in and engineer because I'm trying to direct like that. And she looked around, she said, I can't do this, we can't do this. She left, so I had to engineer, I had directed put the script together, and I have to engineer the place too. But it's not something I can do. Anyway. So that was the first audio drama I did. It was fantastic. A tape exists. Michael Mayburn has this. I think Michael Mayburn has it. He's out there in California, being famous or whatever he's being out there in California. I don't know, right? So maybe it'll see the light of day. Maybe it won't, but it was fantastic, right? to this day I insist it was the most, leave that alone. So then we went on from there, and we do some of the most spectacular audio dramas live. Made it live audio dramas because you had, I included the adrenaline factor. I knew what stage plays was. I knew, and the problem with actors was like, and asking, nah. So I knew if they were on script, because it's radio, right, and they can do it like that, and then they would, I won't say direct themselves, but because it was like adrenaline, your adrenaline factor, knowing it's the only time you get to hit, you hit it, right? Okay, I'm sorry, but it's the audio drama day. I got to keep on going. I'm getting to the point. So went on to that, and we said, I became arts director, and then I stopped. Those early days before I became arts director, it's mainly, it's called a black-centered plays, you know, because creating black-centered plays. Where I became arts director because I knew I'm at BAI, it's a multi-whatever place. So, in fact, the first one we did at the suggestion of Samori Markson was Animal Farm. That was great. Played how Benjamin played boxer. Of course, he didn't know his lines. He didn't pay no attention. He didn't read the script. It was hilarious. It was so good. That's when I always say this. And at the time, Andrew Phillips was, I think he had just stepped down from being program director. Anyway, him and Delphine Blue, who's one of the DJs and on air, whatever. She's Delphine Blue. She's Delphine, you know. She's on air. FM somebody. She's on Instagram. Check her out, Delphine Blue. We started a thing with a song, an original song, or however it was. And so Delphine and Andrew Phillips, they sang so beautifully together. Her voice, it was, dare I say, touching. Okay, no, leave it out. Well, it was, yeah. It was great. So we had a great time at Animal Farm. Then we kept on doing all these big, and find just these huge ones. You know, we would do at the public theater. My main man Jay Glantz came in. It was a technical guy, and then Grayson came in, technical guy. At one point, we did a play. We did a piece. I guess it was Phantom Tobu, or maybe it was Pinocchio, at the public theater. I mean, it was like we had an orchestra, like 22 people. The cast was like 20 people. The technical staff was like 15 people. It was huge, right? So that's what I'm used to doing. So then when I left BAI, because I was administrative, I'm an artiste, you know what I mean? I'm an audio dramatist. I'm not really an administrator. I can administrate, but I administrate like a stage manager because I'm doing stage manager. Okay. So I said, got to go. Boom. Started traveling the world and doing audio drama like that. But here I wasn't doing what I was doing in New York because it's a different kind of thing. And I was training, I really go to community radio stations all over the world to give them audio drama training, and that would sort of bring people into the stations, to like recruit people to the station, and also give them an audio drama kind of thing. Did that. And then finally, somewhere in there, somebody saw me from Zayn Ibrahim from Cape Town, peace and blessings on his eternal soul, but from Bush Radio in Cape Town saw one of the things I did at this conference, and he was like so taken. He said, "I got to get you down to Bush Radio. You got to do this." So I came down to Bush eventually, because there's a whole lot of other stuff happening. You know, engineering democracy, engineering peace watch, a bunch of other stuff happened in the meantime. But I got down there, and I gave him a 3-month workshop, 3 months in audio drama. Right? I won't tell you, there's a whole other thing happened with that. And then because I was there, some other people found out what I did, so I did workshops all in different township areas, an area like Tauf and all kinds, all over the place, like that Philippi, all over the place, Langa, all over the place, right? And I developed a whole other style. I developed like what's called the 24-hour conclave, had the day thing, all these ways of doing audio drama. Let me go back a little bit, because this now come to what I'm talking about right now, what's going to happen. At one particular point, I think I was still in New York. But maybe near the end, someplace. Yeah, I was in New York, but I had to stop being I had stopped being arts director, I think. Well, my thing is like, I guess because of the critical, I feel like anybody can do what I do. You know, I mean, it's like you could be trained to do it like that. And I told this guy, I said, I mean, this stuff is easy. And it's blah, 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 blah. So I said, anybody can do this. The guy, I never forget, the cat looked at me. He said, Anthony, Nobody can do what you do. Now here's the thing, the way my brain works, right? I'm going like, I hear it, but I'm going, yeah. He doesn't understand what I'm saying, right? And I don't take compliments like that. And I don't take accolades like that. I mean, I say, yeah, I appreciate it. I'm moving on, right? Because I got the next thing to do. I'm like, it's like what we do. You're only as good as the last thing you did. As a stage manager, you know, somebody gives you some resume, they played Brother and King whoever and whatever. You're not looking at the resume. You're looking at the audition. If the director and the producer and the writer says this is cool, so all you need is their name and their contacts. So you don't care about their resume, what they do. It's what you did at that particular time, you know? I hear that Denzel's playing Othello on Broadway. Hey, I'll be up there. I probably won't get. I'll be up there in starts in June. I'll be up there May, June, whatever. But they're up there. They're there with Jake Gyllenhaal. You know, they're doing the best Othello I ever saw was Andre Braugher, the guy that just died that played all those things like that. He played Iago. The reason why he rationalized it because Iago has this line says, "I wear my blackness on my sleeve," so they had a black Iago. And you know who Othello was? Avery Brooks. It was a fantastic production. Whoa! Right. So I guess it might. If I do, I probably won't. But I won't. I probably won't. If I do see the Denzel production, I saw Denzel play King Richard III or something like that in Shakespeare in the Park one time. He was good. He's good, right? I guess he can only be better now, right? But in my brain, he got to beat Avery doing Othello. Good luck with that. That's all I got to say. Back to the point. So now there's going to be, like I say, this thing happens in September, right? Right now, I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm gonna talk a long time because this is important to me. I got my little bookie here. Now I've been writing furiously. Well, not furiously, I've been writing. And what happens when you write, especially when you write poetry, your juices get going. Because I realize with this thing that's going to happen in September, what I'm planning, right? I got to be there, and I got to, like when I do the conferences, I got to do an audio drama. I got some ideas, right? I'm not writing them down, right? Like for instance, this is international, right? There's this thing, for instance, when Grenada was when they invaded Grenada, the top of the New Jewel movement, Maurice Bishop by that guy whatever that guy's name is. I should not say his name. I know who he is. Let me not say his name. Let's leave him out of history. But Maurice Bishop was dethroned by his one of his comrades, right? Always a person stabbing in the back, right, like that, right? It's a horrible tough one. In Burkina Faso, again, Thomas Sankara, I know the guy's name, but I'm not going to mention his name, betrayed by one of his comrades, supposed to be friend or whatever, in the back again, right? Now these happen pretty close together, right? Here's the thing. I heard, I'm not saying it's true or not, but I heard that in both cases there was an old man that knew them both, and they respected the old man, and the old man passed, and then this stuff happened. Same situation happened in Burkina Faso. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. In my brain, I can write an audio drama that illuminates both these because of the time for both these situations. You see what I'm saying? So that's my idea for audio drama that'll fly there. At the same time, there's this other thing that I have where you have all these people, these revolutionary leaders. The people. I'm in South Africa now. I'm based in South Africa. Now, for me, South Africa, my hero, South Africa, is Mangaliso Robert Sobukwe. Hands down, don't want to hear it. You can argue all you want. There's none better because he's principled. What I noticed about all the stuff that people I'm attracted to, they're principled. Bernard, principled. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about the theater, but Bernard, principled. Alame Brett, principled. These people are principled. That's who I'm attracted. That's my people. The principle, the downtrodden and the principle. The downtrodden and the principle. Well, that means you ain't gonna have no money. We're not talking about money right now. Money, forget that part, because it'll confuse you. Everybody, all the unprincipled people I say, they go for the trinket. The system shows a little trinket in front of them. Say, don't you want this? We can give you fame and fortune. Don't you want this? And they go, yeah, you're right. I gotta support my family. I gotta. No shade on family. My point is, that's what happens. That's how they get them, right? Or they threaten, whatever they do, right? Okay. Magalisa Rabusubuke, right? But also, Chris Hani, principled. The reason why we know Magalisa Rabusubuke is principled is because he left the ANC, started PAC. He's the one with the whole chair with the passbook. But he was so dangerous that when they put him on Robben Island, they let anybody talk to him. Never his guard could talk to him. He was in a separate cottage or whatever, something like that. Nobody could talk to him. But Madiba come to the thing and make friends with the guard, and they could kumbaya, and I guess by that time the forces that be the trinket danglers, right? Say, hell, here's how we can get this happening. Anyway, let me go back. Chris Hani worked with the troops, with the downtrodden, right? Army commander, whatever you want to call it, worked in the government. You got it? And, all right, let's finish eating. And scheduled to be the leader of the country, the first president, the first Democrat, whatever, before Madiba. But mysteriously, well, I guess he got assassinated. Maurice Bishop, like Thomas Sankara, like Lumumba. We can keep on going down the list. Got assassinated. And from all indications, recent indications, assassinated by his own. And here's the interesting thing. I live in DeBrother. One of the MK party just met. One of the cats that were there, I had an interview on. I said, Chris Hani left the ANC. He said, no, he never left the party. He never renounced his thing. Well, technically, he didn't have time to do this, And all the time, they just started mentioning Chris Hani in recent years because they need names, they need danglings, to say we're relevant, whatever have you. Anyway, let me not get political about them. What I'm trying to say is that if you're principled, then you never leave your principle. You stay on your square. Come heck or high water. Oh, I shouldn't say I suffered, but there's a lot of people. There's a lot of things that could be said about me. The whole thing about family, whatever have you. But I move with the downtrodden. I stay with the downtrodden. There's no way. These are my people. I stay with. These are my people. And when we're going to the audio drama that I'll create, the stuff that I want to do, I want to give this talk. So I'm going to end here, maybe. I'm going to give this talk. I had this talk for the last 5 years. I've been thinking because I'm in Africa. I say, look, you've been listening to the wrong Americans. That's the name of my talk. You've been listening to the wrong Americans. About 3 years ago, I did a Sankofa, a lecture, a presentation, a talk, whatever, in front of this Sankofa, this Africa Day thing, right? And that was kind. They didn't invite. I haven't been invited back. Well, I haven't been around for May, he says. But when I get to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, I'm writing stuff. I want to give this talk, but this talk is going to be different because I grew up in the '60s. I grew up in what's called the Black Power movement, the Black Arts movement. When we took over the school, when we took over Bronx Community College and stuff like that, I was a communications person. Don't worry about that. When we took over that college, leading up to that, people understand in those days, if we started a meeting, a talk, or whatever, a discussion at 6 o'clock at night, you would go all the way to 7 o'clock the next morning, discussing. And this way, we wasn't now hopped up on drugs. The most we did was smoke cigarettes. So what I'm trying to say, I did no more radio for long. I can talk forever, all night long. So in my 24-hour conclaves with audio drama, 24 hours. I did an 8.5-hour live audio drama. No commercial breaks. So I'm built for this. All the stuff that I've ever done, I'm coming to this conference, this reparations conference, with all of this. I'm coming strong. You say, well, brother, don't you have some backup? I have no backup. I am Ogun. I am Year the Tiger. I am a loner. Now, the other people might want to hang out, but I got to do this. So all I'm saying is that be there or be rectangular. Prepare yourself now. I'm preparing now. We're March, end of March. Man, and my mother's birthday was on Monday. Well, she's passed too, but it doesn't matter. Let me see. Here's my schedule. Here's the thing. Right now, we're March 27th? Yes, March 27th. Now you see, I have to do all my planning, do my physical stuff right now. All through April, all through April, I'm working on the physical stuff like that, and do a little trinket here, a little writing techniques here, and whatever have it. Then what's going to happen in May? See, in May, I get to the States in May. I'm there for May and June. I got to go back May and June. Then I get to Cape Town in July because I got an initiative there, a food initiative. But let me go back here for a second. There's this thing. I also work on a spiritual level. I guess I should tell you this, right? On May 12th, I enter what we call in the Rosicrucian pantheon. The way thing is what's called a critical cycle. It's like 52 days before your birthday, and I always put challenges on myself. Right? And you got to be chill or whatever because things happen, whatever have it. So on May 12th, I hit that, but I'll be in New York or on the East Coast. I'll be in Virginia, someplace. So all through that whole time, I'll be working on some more physical well-being. Writing, planning, write letters, trying to get this thing hooked up for September, So I'll use that period to chill, not to get excited, not to go any sudden moves, stuff like that. So everything is right in place what it needs. So here's what I'm saying. We who believe in freedom, that would be you, some of you, cannot rest. But more importantly than we're talking strategies and tactics. And the biggest problem I have with melanated people all over the planet is that a lot of us are so emotional, we refuse to have strategy and tactics. Problem. The only way you can have strategy and tactics is by planning. Preparation is everything. So we got now, whatever day, the 27th of March, until September 7th, or before, to plan to get to Ethiopia, plan to come, and one focus, reparations. Everything you do between now and then is about reparations. Don't stop reacting to the dumb man and his minions. Stop reacting to Afro-peans and Negro-peans. Leave them alone. They're doing what they do. Let them now walk, because you have to be focused. You got to be principled. That's what we're talking about. This is important. Reparations. It's worldwide. We are the diasporas coming down to that conference. They're going to ask opinions. They're going to ask you should have your little paper written, whatever you got, your little notes, your poem, your audio drama, ready to go. So you got, let's say April, May, June, July, August. 5, count them, 5 months to prepare. Excess. Repair in the excess. 5 is an excess. That's Lloyd Strayhorn, hung out in the 80s too. That's Lloyd Strayhorn. 5, excess number. Prepare. 5 is also a number, where if you miss something in the 1 year, then in the 5th year, and we're in the world, I guess, we're in a 9-year, I'm in a 1 year personally, but we're in a 9-year, and this ends, we got to end this now. This has got to end now. this subjugation, this the power of the European, the trinket people, it's got to stop. I don't expect, they do what they do. What you going to do to not make them stop, to halt what they're doing? My current commander-in-chief, Captain Ibrahim Traore, up there in the land of the upright people, you think he's reacting to them? That boy, boom, 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 put this in place, put that in place, put that, make friends with here, but make alliances there. You should be doing that rather than reacting to the backwash of the Muskies and the whatever and the Donalds and whatever their class of people, the so-called billionaire class. Oh, please. Don't you know any buts? Okay. I'm going to keep on going, so I better stop. Let me get back on my helicopter and keep on going. I got things to do. Oh, I got to finish my poem. Oh, I finished my poem. I got to write up there. Oh, look, I'll talk to you another time. You'll take care. Bye.